Hello and happy, beautiful day to you. On today's episode, I want to talk about the topic of ultimate self-love. So often people will message in and they say, what is self-love, or why is it feeling so hard to achieve? And that is a common question that I get. So today I want to just kind of unpack the bigger picture of why does it feel so hard, or what is it, or why are so many people struggling to achieve self-love? And so as we dive in, the way I want to invite you to think about loving somebody is to think about somebody who you really care about, somebody you love, and think about the awareness that you can love somebody and you could also be mad at them or angry or have resentment. Now, of course, you wouldn't want to do that, but that's my point, is that so often when it comes to feelings of self-love, people are trying to bring in self-love, and they don't pay attention to the deeper feelings that are opposite of that. So in other words, a person may work on for years on self-love, and meanwhile, at the same time, maybe they have a really strong pattern of self-criticism or a strong pattern of self-judgment or being hard on themselves or a feeling of insecurity. And so what happens is, imagine if there's somebody who you really love and you're feeling really insecure about them. It's hard to really feel that ongoing feeling of love or critical or judgmental. It interferes. And so that's what I want to invite you to look at in your own life, is that are you having a lot of mixed emotions that are really keeping you from feelings of self-love? Now, another piece that is so important is that all of the time I'll see people who will work on bringing in feelings of self-love, and instead of self-love, they either do a few things. Either they end up inadvertently bringing in feelings of self-sympathy, and this is so common, where they feel, and they bring in the feeling, they say, oh, I had a really hard day, I'm going to be nice to myself. And that's not the feeling of self-love. Self-love, you want to have this feeling of feeling like you love who you are. You love who you are. You feel great about who you are. Does that mean you're perfect? No, I haven't met a single human being who is perfect. And of course, simultaneously, we are all perfect. And we're perfect and growing. And, it's just like a newborn baby is so perfect and also very far from perfect, drooling on themselves and spitting up on things and whatnot, and so perfect. And so we as human beings, of course, as we continue through life, we may not be quote unquote perfect, and yet, just like an infant, simultaneously perfect and growing. And so point being, though, is that sometimes people will bring in the feeling of self-sympathy. I see that all of the time. And the unfortunate thing is that a lot of times people don't realize the difference. And a way to think about the difference is like this, is imagine 10 years from now, you have the feeling that says, oh, I'm going to do this for myself because I had a really hard day. Or instead, you have this feeling of feeling like, gosh, I just really love who I am and who I've become. That's the feeling of self-love. And so really getting good at that feeling is so key. Now, another form of self-love, or another place that self-love gets mixed up so often, is this. As people will say, as a form of self-care, they decide that they're going to go do something because they're feeling like that life has been overwhelming. And so they ultimately start developing patterns of avoidance. And positive avoidance, where they go, oh, I'm going to go do something I enjoy. And what happens is, is life is stressful, or they have this going on, or whatever it is. And they say, okay, well, I'm going to go do a project, or I'm going to go do art, or I'm going to go do crafts, or a massage, or whatever that is. And of course, all of that can be really nice. But keeping in mind that the ultimate self-love and the ultimate self-care is identifying the patterns in your mind that aren't serving you and really getting rid of them. So, for example, if somebody has a pattern of self-criticism, so often people will distract themselves with this task, or, or they're going to go do a walk in nature, which of course is great. But they'll go take a walk in nature, or they go, oh, well, I'm just going to go, do something, or go get a massage, and all of that. Again, it's all wonderful. But the ultimate self-love is identifying patterns of dislike and really getting rid of them, of self-dislike or any patterns that interrupt self-love. And a way to think about it is like this. I mean, imagine if there's a partner, somebody who has their partner and they have all of this love, but they also have a lot of anger and resentment. And instead of clearing the anger and resentment, they say, well, let's just go take a walk. What is the biggest thing that's really going to help their relationship? I mean, the walk is nice, but also if there's a pattern, a continuous pattern of resentment or anger, genuinely resolving that is going to take them much further in their relationship. It is going to equate to a much better relationship. And so thinking about your relationship with yourself, what do you want that to look like? And the ultimate self-love is really identifying patterns that are against self or, not supportive of self-love and are interfering with that, and really repatterning, reprogramming the mind at a deeper level, and then simultaneously genuinely cultivating feelings of self-love. So you really have this feeling of loving who you are and loving who you're becoming. So that's the insight that I want to share today. And I can tell you so often I have seen people who have struggled for years and years and years with self-criticism or even being mean to self or insecurities that kept them from really feeling the self-love and really feeling good in their own skin. And once they changed that and they really identified the patterns, really rewired it at a deeper level in the mind, it's like they came alive to the next level, just the level of confidence, the level of joy, the level of love for life and love for people was pivotal. And so that, of course, is my hope for you, is exactly that. Notice what comes up for you. Start looking into yourself and see what it is that you really will want to reprogram in your mind and do exactly that. So that's today's quick IQ episode. It has been such a pleasure connecting with you. And as always, please do take just a quick moment to hit the share button on this episode. Share it with somebody you love, somebody you care about, or somebody you don't even know. Because the more that every single person in our world is healthy and happy and loved and loving, the better this world is for all of us. And so please do hit the share button, and please do have an incredible rest of your day. I look forward to connecting with you on the next episode. We'll see you there.